Oh, they say it's all about numbers. Some niggas chasing likes. Some niggas chasing views, streams. Well, me, I chase dollars, and that's the difference. Riding through the city like Eddie, I got my semi on me. Bitches better tie up their shoes if they ain't tripping with me. I don't give a fuck about views, nigga, they listen to me. Hate to call it feminine energy when they switching on me. Got my mind right, and I can't CP. Mind start mixing this shit just like a GC. Nigga, I remodel my kitchen off of my EP. Looking like a wizard with minds, but not from DC. Go and get your people, put some money on it. Wish I had $1 for every nigga that fronted on them. Beat drop, nigga, I'm dumping and going dummy on it. He don't stand a chance with me, hitter, I get the hunting for him. California into Hawaii, look at me stunting on him. Local Larry looking for leverage, nigga, that's nothing for him. My reach long, I'm Riddick Bowe. Money made with the counter off of the shoulder roll. It's P Jizzle, the top 10, the totem pole. Beanie Siegel, bully the booth, they all know it, dog. Don't ever think these other niggas fucking with me. Clean shot straight from the shooters, I'll leave them dusting for me.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our review show. And those that know, every Monday we try to do our review show, schedule permitting. And we weren't able to do a shy review for season 8, episode 4 last week. So we're going to do a shy review for season 4 and 5 this week. I'm here. Dwayne is here in the atmosphere. Keisha's not available today. So I'm going to basically do a type of show where we will discuss SG, what's going on. Like I said yesterday, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a check before we start our shows. But because it was yesterday, I'm not going to do it this week. But both of these review shows are going to be combined. Basically, even with episode 4 being gone, and it seems like it was so long ago, you kind of forget some of the things. The Reg trajectory, what we doing with Reg, how's Reg going on. Nook has been killed at the end of the episode, which is interesting because Tiff, she should have knew. Was she naive? Did she have some type of feelings? And we know she has some type of feelings. The double proposal between Keisha and Emmett, I thought was interesting. I thought it was kind of odd, even when you watch those teas at the end, and what the actress that played Keisha said was kind of strange. Like Dwayne said to me earlier, where's Papa? Like, what are we doing with Papa? The Shy is really, in my opinion, first and foremost, they're throwing a lot of fans off. And one of the key elements of what they're throwing the fans off this season is, what are we doing with these 3 kids? We all see the comparison that these 3 kids got with Kevin, Papa, and Jake. They remind you of Kevin, Papa, and Jake from when the Shy first started. However, why are you introducing new characters into the Shy? Like, what are we doing with this? Where are we going with this? So I find that very interesting that they would be introducing, but this is what the Shy is doing. You don't know if it's going to be a spin-off of it. We just know that this season, from what they said, is coming to an end. Supporting game, and I see you, man. Dwayne, what's going on, bro?
Not much. Just trying to think back to episode 4. Episode 5 is more prevalent in my mind right now. But, episode 4 was the setup to episode 5 where, Zeke's daughter, Kenya, let Lene know that it was Nook that killed Rob, and she played the audio for her. You got a lot of stuff with the 3 little kids and, Emmett and Keisha and how they're trying to support his son that recently came to them. Darnell and his girl still living up in that house with Emmett, Keisha, and all them kids. I think that's I think that's a dumb storyline, personally. Um,
Well,
Trig and
well, let's
Shy
discuss.
getting Trig. Okay.
Let's discuss the storylines, bro. I think we could probably have a very interesting conversation about it. Supporting gamers, we want you to join us with it, right? Let's discuss Devontae. You have this kid, and when you think about the history of Devontae, Emmett never wanted the girl to move to Pittsburgh anyway. So she comes back saying Devontae's getting in trouble, doing all this, getting in trouble in school. Now he's there. And it's like, you know, like the introduction to his character. I mean, why they didn't do that with EJ? Like, EJ was quote unquote has some challenges, right? But their age is not really that far apart. And you have this new son, not new, but newer to us, that was there but not there, who they decided to frame a storyline around him and his two friends. No, him and two other kids that he was getting in trouble, that they were getting in trouble that happened to have, some proximity to each other. Then Emmett have this birds and the bees conversation. Dwayne, I don't understand the storyline. I don't understand the purpose of the storyline because one of the things that they did is they first had Brandon going all the way back. Brandon was there for Kevin. And then when Brandon left the show, they wrote him out. They basically had Emmett doing that with Kevin himself. Emmett and Kevin was cool. And I understand that's his son, but I just don't understand the new storyline with these kids. I'm trying to understand where they're going with it.
The only way it makes sense is if she's trying to do a spinoff of it, which I don't
Mhm.
know if that's the end game. But basically, you seeing more of these new kids than you seeing of Jake and Papa. I got my theory about that. I ain't gonna bring it to this review because I'm sure people are tired of me with that theory. But you know, just going back to episode 4 with the build up, with her giving them that big thing of money when they got out of jail. The Nora chick worried about her speaking out, even though Rosalind paid her. So
So
you gotta set all. If we're gonna do it both, we gotta set up 4 before we get to 5. You
so
know what
who
I'm
who
saying?
who is who do patients got watching her house? like like what is that all about? Who do you got watching the house? You got your ex husband watching the See, it's so much stuff like and even when I think I had seen 4 before you, right? Yeah, I saw
Right.
4 before you, and we talked about it. And when I told you she was in it, you were like, "For what?" Like when you think about it, like you said, we're gonna talk about 4. You have her there. She's acting like she's scared. She quote unquote got money from Rosalind and said that was her way out. Out of what? What type of trouble the Nora chick was ever in? And if she got money to be out and timed is hard, why is she still in Chicago?
Right.
I didn't. I think that part of the plot twist, the whole Rosalind paid her to lie so Shad and Victor could get arrested. I just think it's cheap. I think it was cheap. I think it was a way that they ended last season to pick up this season was just a cheap way out. And it doesn't make much sense because it doesn't add up correctly. Even so much so, we've seen some other stuff that happened in episode 5. Um, all the way up to where Patience basically said, now she's an attorney. This girl lied and then she told the truth to get out. You would think that because she knew the judge, and we've seen that her and the judge, one of the judges knew each other, she would be able to get her some type of witness protection or something. But that's not the case. She just got somebody watching her. I just find
Yeah.
it very. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, it's just you can pick it apart. I think a lot of people are nostalgic because it's the last season. So I'm trying not to pick it apart too much. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's the storyline that they're spending a lot of time on. I don't totally agree with it. You know, Keisha
Yeah,
homeschooling what's gonna be her stepson and trying to make it seem like they got a strong family to the social worker. Um, all the while they got another dynamic where you got four people who are so intertwined and it's a messy intertwine. You know, everyone's been speaking on it for seasons. Like you got this Nook, Emmett, Keisha, and Tiff. There's a lot of cross relationships. Kids is involved between the four of them. Two were married before. Two about to get married.
it doesn't
And,
make much sense. It really stretches reality. We understand that a lot of times people have multiple kids where two women might know each other or two fathers might know each other, but this is the extreme. This is the very extreme. Like this is a four people connection that's literally crazy when you think about it. It makes you think that Chicago, even though that this show specifically deals with the South Side, West Side of Chicago, Chicago ain't big enough. Like
yeah,
even Dwayne, but even with the messiness with that, look at what they did with Darnell and Jacob. I mean Jacob, Darnell and Emmett with Dom.
right.
Like that just that whole thing didn't make much sense. And now she's with Jamal. Like what are we doing here? And it makes you. And I was messing with you earlier when you had something when you called, right?
Mm.
It makes you. I want you to say how you feel. I want you to be, because the bottom line is that this show, when you think about how season one, and I have to go back to it, season one was so good. That's what spurred us doing the review show, and the weird twists, the where we going, and even now it's like, come on, like y'all take advantage of y'all fans. Y'all don't realize that your fans are into it. They see it. They know the characters. They want to know what's going on. I mean, the whole purpose of bringing somebody like as annoying as Lene, like Lene is just so annoying. Just 1 minute you got her just want to be nosy, want to be up in the middle of everything, and then like, oh, you don't like somebody because somebody's a killer. What about the stuff you do? You know, yeah, you might have just stopped dealing with Bakari, but at the end of the day, you knew who Bakari was when you started dealing with him. You know, she comes off as one of those type of people that um, as long as nobody don't mess with her, or long as or as long as she's doing it, it's okay.
Part of
Like
the
you know,
problem is why is she not in college?
right.
Like they just
Another
dropped
thing,
that whole angle. Like now she work with Tiff. She ain't going to school at all. Like that's over. They completely dropped the Bakari doing the book. They spent all season seven focusing on the book. Now the book is made. Nobody bought it, so we don't talk about the book no more.
yeah. Nobody
Um,
bought it. I mean, anybody that ever wrote books would know. You know, sometimes you don't sell a lot of books in the beginning. He want the one book signing, like really, and then you never. And I know they don't do it because of the reasons, but you bought Kadeem Harrison off for what? He was the professor. Like you bought him off for 1.5 season. Like it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I know you
so
had said
now,
earlier. Go ahead, bro.
and again, focusing on episode four before we move on to five. You got Nook and Reg both trying to build their armies. Um, you got Reg with a love hate, more hate it seems, relationship with his two brothers. Like you know, there's love there, but there's a lot more hate. Um, Trig was in jail. We never saw Peaches. Peaches would have never came back to see what was going on.
Mm.
She would have
I'll be
found out
honest.
that her son was in jail.
I liked Reg, the first Reg when Reg was in before, but and I know certain people like action, certain people like characters that fit that mold. But in my opinion, Reg is a goofy man.
So you
Reg is a
got
whole goofy. Like he just acts like a goofy man. Like
yeah.
just doesn't. Yeah, I'm not understand. You go from getting shot. You go from recovering, not being on the show. You come back. Your brothers is your both of your brothers is well. One brother came back to Chicago to make sure your little brother was all right. Yeah, you brought the mother to the house last season, and Victor acted, didn't want your mother to be coming in and out your life, and you've came back and you just come back as a straight bozo. Even if you want to be part of the mob and you want to be the leader of the mob, like you're not ingratiating yourself back to your brothers like this. Like it's like he's just a straight bozo. Like just you know a can't get right, and then it's like you got this squad, like you said, you got this army around you. Like for what? Like they don't really. I don't know if they fear you or like you selling pills. You need the dude who's under you, baby mother, to get the pills for you from the hospital, and it's like he don't you don't want to give him no pills because you want to give Bakari the pills because Bakari make more money than he make, and it's like Reg, you I don't think that they did enough character development to make Reg this stupid. And I hate to say it like this. I just for somebody who really liked, the character before, I just don't like the character now. And I think the character is just dumb.
Yeah, and so they're trying to find their way through different things, like with that episode 4 with Bakari, you know, because Nook found out Bakari been pillow talking, he knocked him out, knocked him down, and kicked him out. So Bakari working at Smokies, but he's working for Reg, and he's selling pills at Smokies, and Papa's a pill head now, and so it seems like they're throwing a lot against the wall. Jake got his new girl, but they ain't really digging into that. They're only touching on it, nibbling on it. And again, before I move on to episode 5, episode 4 is again showing me, and this series is showing me that they really don't care to explore Jake and Papa, who were who have been vital cogs to this show since day one. Since day one.
I think
So
that
it's just interesting that they did that, right? So then you fast forward to episode 5, and I'm gonna be very honest with everyone. I did not particularly care for episode 5. I know we got to get the big story at the end of it, but the build up to that was whack to me. The whole proposal thing, the whole these 3 kids and the parents taking the phone from them because Emmett caught the dude watching porn on his phone instead of watching what Keisha had on the TV for him for his homeschooling. Then Keisha meeting with the other parents to come in an agreement to take their phones. Why are we putting so much stock into these 3 little kids when we're coming to the end of a series? And there's still a lot of stories to be told in that. Like, really show us Papa's struggles. Like, you had the Rotimi character, and now he ain't in the church no more. And so now he at the barbershop, but you don't see him. And the church has been a prevalent part of this series since day one, you know? And so it's just you introducing us to all these new characters. The Kyla Pratt character now wants to sleep with Smitty. You know what I mean? Who's a new character. And Smitty was dating the other dude's girl, and she left him to go back to the other dude because they got a baby together. Again, all these cross relationships, like what she's doing with Hannibal and saying Hannibal's in witness protection. If you have a family member that's in witness protection, you're not going to freely be giving that information to everybody.
and the
Like,
wife
and
is gonna
again,
be
I
with
know
him,
this is
right?
a TV show, right? I know this is a TV show, but Where was the thing where Hannibal was like, I gotta go into witness protection, and her saying she ain't leaving her sisters in Chicago? Like
Mm.
where's that? So it's just, I say wrap the story up without bringing all these new characters into the mix, because there's so many stories untold. Like, what was the purpose of Rock, the center that Tracy developed? If these three young kids, why they in that Rock? Why they with Darnell girl who went from a grief counselor to now counseling young boys in a blink of an eye? Like, it just, it's a lot of stuff that don't make sense to me.
Yeah, they. One of the things is that we always call about attachment. Attachment. Me and you, when we talk about, even when we talk about sports, we talk about attachment, marrying something to something, right? We always hear that phrase. We don't see that in this show. They don't make no sense. Like you said, the Wendy Raquel Robinson. Listen, we like her as an actress. We want her to get paid. She's dope. We go back to when she was in the Steve Harvey show, but she serves no purpose in this show. You're bringing a grief counselor in where her and Darnell met each other in a grief session. Now she's basically taking Jada's place, and now all of a sudden she's counseling the kids. And like you said, what about Rock? Tracy was so invested with Rock and what they were doing. Victor was invested with Rock. The only reason why Victor left Rock alone because Tracy asked him, like, I don't want nothing negative around. Like, Tracy had been big, and Tracy would have made sure, because she was friends with Emmett's mother, she was friends with Jada, she was friends with everybody, that she would have been like, Keisha, I got y'all. Emmett, I got y'all. I'm gonna make sure y'all like definitely to them boys because her son got killed in Chicago. I mean, you could have done, and I know that we try to look at these shows sometime and be like, well, you got good directions. And I said to you earlier, and it's so true. This show has so much meat on the bone there. It's so much you can do that you're doing stuff that makes no sense when it comes to the show. And it makes no sense when you come to the trajectory of the show. Like you said, you're bringing this new character in, and all of a sudden he messing with Kyla Pratt. Like, what are we doing? Like, what do we do? So Kyla Pratt sitting there with her sister, who's the shooter for Reg, but she's going behind Reg back to tell Bakari's sister that Bakari's working for Reg, so he need to get away from Reg as much as possible. Like, it's too much. And when you look at it, she's the shooter. She don't have to deal with Reg. She don't even have to be. Reg is nothing without her when you really think about it. It's just,
And then
it's
the other,
not.
and then the other sister worked for Emmett and Keisha.
Yeah, it's not realistic. Then you got Karuchi. What are we doing with her? Karuchi. First, we thought she's a sex addict, but Dwayne, it goes further, because even like you said, sometimes when you really think about it, they've always been doing this cross thing. Remember, Karuchi is Rotimi's ex-wife, and she was dealing with Damien. She's a sex addict. They were in a session together. Like, it
Okay.
doesn't. We understand that culture, communities. We come from a small community. We come from a community that everybody's kind of like intertwined. But the way they got these people intertwined, it's not practical. It's
No, it's
not
not.
practical.
It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And again, like for me, just full disclosure, folks, I don't get to see the Shy until it airs on. I don't get to see the Shy until it airs on Showtime at 9 because I did some research today and Paramount Plus has exclusive streaming rights, so they won't show it on anything else until they show it on till they show it on Showtime at 9. So that's why it's not on demand. Episode 2 got leaked to on demand by mistake. Paramount wants any streaming of this show to be exclusive to their app and people that partner with them. So that I'm not able to see it until Sundays at 9. And by the time I get to see it, there's so many leaks and so many people talking about it. So I know what's coming before I watch it, but I still watch it because I'm a fan of the show and us doing these review shows. But
I'm gonna ask you.
I
Do you
don't
have a?
know. Let me just finish this thought real quick. So I don't know if because I'm waiting a long time to see the shows, if I'm more critical of it, that could be the case. But other than Nook getting murdered in this episode, like what else of value was there? What the proposal, which we knew was coming? Like what else was of value in episode 5? Like what else
Well,
like moved the crowd?
I answer supporting gaming's question with your question as well. He said, "Was Nook wasted, or was his end justified?" Nook getting killed was the episode 5. It
Mhm.
was a build up to something like you said earlier, Dwayne. It was a build up to something, and it was like, but it didn't add up because Emmett still never told Keisha that they found out that Nook killed Rob. He still never said nothing to Keisha, and we know
Right.
that from the previews. One of the things that I'm gonna say, Wayne, and to supporting gaming, I have a major problem with the actors doing this tea on Friday. Like Dwayne said, because of their contracts. One thing about these shows, they all understand that they have contracts with the networks. You can deal with the fans, you can deal with content creators, people that decide to, talk about it. That's what they choose to do. That's what they choose to do. But I have a major issue, like the actor who played Nook, Cortez Smith. Cortez, yeah, Cortez Smith, right?
Frederick Smith, yeah.
He 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 not only posted about it, but he actually did a live for about 2 hours about getting killed off the show. And this was way before he did it couple hours after it dropped on Friday. And I get it. This is when y'all hear it drop, but like you said, it's a lot of people that haven't watched the episode, and to me, they're destroying their audience.
Well, I think
Sometimes
my bad.
in the year that Brandon and the young lady got into whatever they got into on the set, I noticed that Lena Waithe had started doing these IG lives, but
Hmm.
she would only do the IG lives on Sundays at 10 Eastern. After the episode dropped, she would pop up and do it, and she would talk about the back scenes, what led up to the episode, and she would share that with the fans. And then they started doing, because it really was the year that when Ronnie died, and it would give the fans the opportunity to intermingle with the actors and Lena. But I
Hmm.
think now they have destroyed their show with the whole tea thing. You could find the
Well,
tea.
I think they're doing it, to be honest, because they know all these other people are doing it. So they're taking the situation in their own hand. You got all these content creators that's doing review shows right after the episodes drop. Like you see them all over YouTube. So they're probably like, man, all these people doing it. Let's just go out
Mm,
there and do it ourselves. And it's obvious that they're catering to the people who are on Paramount Plus streaming. They're not catering to the Showtime audience.
mm.
So they're feeling the majority of the people that's watching it are all watching it Friday. So Friday night they drop the teas or whatever. Or Saturdays usually on their platforms. And they're doing that because all these other people are doing it. As soon as the show is off, if you go online, you see show after show after show talking about the shot. There's a lot of shows that do review shows like we do that do it immediately after the episode is over.
Mm.
Like immediately after. So I think Lena is like, well, damn, if people gonna do that, I might as well get ahead of it and do it myself.
I think they're killing their. I understand why they would do that, and I know exactly what you're saying. I see it because I on Fridays, even when I'm at work, I happen to be online, and you see it may pop up on your algorithm. But I just think it's dumb. And the reason why I say it's dumb is that because even with the other show that we review, the same thing.
Mhm.
And sometimes the more access that you give people, you lessen your value. And this is what I think that they've done. Like they've basically, and I don't think I would be wrong by saying this. They've taken your watching and your enjoyment experience, you and Keisha's away. Keisha said the same exact thing that you said to me in reference to this episode.
Mhm.
And this was, in my opinion, one of the better episodes of the season. But you and her basically both, like I said, y'all said the same thing and y'all feel the same way. And it's like, you know, can we hurry up and get rid of the season? And this is not the first season that we have said that about the Shy. This is probably the third time we've said that. We've gotten mid-season and be like, "Yo, I just hope the season hurry up and end." And it's like, damn, like because y'all
And the
destroying your
sad thing for
audience.
me is the sad thing for me is I don't want to see it in. I just want it to make sense. Like again, you're showing more of these kids than you're showing of Jake and Papa. They barely have scenes this year. You know, have they had a scene like Keisha every once in a while? She's outside of the house, but damn, all the time she in that house. Like they making Tiff into Alicia. Tiff ain't built like that.
And even with the Alicia thing, because supporting gaming said the same thing. We don't even know enough about Alicia. You know what I mean? Like they never gave us no background on who she really was. She just came in. Her brother got killed. Then her son got killed, so you knew she was vengeful for those two. But they never gave us like, is she in the? She's not in the street. She basically had that club going on, and she was into real estate, but she was quote unquote powerful. But now we see now Tiff is gonna like Tiff has the house. Tiff done kill Nook. Like where are we going with this? Like, and then when you see the previews, and you see the previews, and it goes back to now her and Keisha. Is this going to be the one thing they beef about? But just in episode 4, in the cigar lounge, they was like, "Girl, we ain't gonna never let no nigga come between us."
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so it's. I'm still interested. I don't want people to think I'm not interested. I just wanted like you basically know that they're setting up for the last episode to be a reunion, with the wedding and everything like that. So they're setting that up. So that means you got episode 6, 7, 8, and 9 to really start wrapping some stuff up. What are we doing to help Papa get through his challenges? Where's his mother to be like, Stanley, why you sitting here popping these pills and stuff like that? Like, where is that? I hate what they've done to Darnell, just laying around in his son's house with all these kids and stuff. Like, it
the,
just
one scene you have Darnell still grieving, and we know that grief has no timetable. But then the next minute you see he's happy with the counselor and with these young boys. I thought that scene was funny because he said to what's the big kid's name?
I don't even
Move,
know. I
Move,
don't even know
I
their
can't
name.
remember his name. Move, but he said to him, "Boy, what you know about Earth, Wind, and Fire?" And that's the same thing that he would always say to him. He'd be like, "Boy," but they even brought the daggone earpiece back, Dwayne. I thought they
But
had retired the earpiece. Like I just think that just give us some more clarity going forward. I know that going back to those previews again, and I always say I hate talking about the previews because the previews give you a false sense of what's going on because you don't know how it really lines up. But even in the previews, you see that Emily and Keisha are going back and forth with this wedding on what type of
right.
wedding they're gonna have, and like you would think that they would just want to hurry up and get married. I mean, she was willing to propose to him, like, but they're making this marriage, like you said.
Because she's a whiner. She's never. I hate to say it, but they made her into a character that's never satisfied. She want everything to be her way. in a sense. Like, and if you really look at it, one of the things that can make you feel good about this series and how it, you think about where Emmett has come from, that kid that was selling sneakers in season one that was out here hustling and had all these babies young. And if you see how he has developed, it's been really, really good, you know? Trig, is he going to be back with Tiff? Now you got the other young lady, allegedly. You got her talking about he hiding something, this, that, and the third. You know, so it's just like, come on, man. Let's finish this strong. Let's dig more into the Jake, the Reds, the Trig dynamic. I think they're missing a lot off that storyline. Like the confrontation should have happened. Like Trig and Reg was supposed to fight by now. By now, them jokers were supposed to knuckle up. You know, because Trig would be like, "Yo, why you keep trying to bring our brother down the road that we both went to? Let's let him be different. Let's let him be better than us." Like that's a story that they could tell. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not a writer, but to me that's an interesting storyline. Like because we all want our younger siblings to be better than we were, right? So
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot. I don't want it to end. Like I'm not like hurry up and end. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. I'm not saying hurry up and end the series. What I'm saying is give us good, solid episodes on the way out the door because you are wrapping it up.
Support and gaming. I see what you said. You said they bringing it full circle with the kids. The original kids is what made the show good in the beginning. You're exactly right with that. But these three kids are not Kevin, Jake, and Papa. You still Kevin's not here, but you still got so much about Jake. I mean, Jake, when you think about who Jake is and how he's evolved, continue his trajectory. You just stop mid trajectory. You stop, oh, he's selling clothes and that's it. And then, like, even this one episode, like episode 5, you show him one scene where he's in the house waiting, basically telling Reg, leave my brother alone, talking about Bakari. And then
Mhm.
Papa, you don't even show. Like Papa's trajectory, if you think about Papa from, like Dwayne said, being around the church, having his podcast with Papa's pulpit, being just remember the scene, y'all. One of the greatest scenes on network TV, in my opinion, in black cinema. And I'll say it. It's one of the top, probably 20 greatest scenes when he came out there looking like Biggie. That was great. That was
Mhm.
great TV. But where are we at with Papa now? You know, he's been through a lot. His mentor got killed. His father got killed. Nook killed both of them.
Mhm.
So even with the T, and when Dwayne said to me twice today, and I actually seen it, Papa should have been the one that killed Nook. Or Papa should have been with Tiff when she killed Nook.
Mhm.
Um, and then like going through the struggles, like remember Papa was the manager at Smokies. And even with Smokies, what are we doing with this? Where are we doing it? Why did y'all bring Sonny back? Y'all brought Sonny back. Basically, you could have brought Sonny back for episode 10 at the wedding. Because
Yeah, you
that's the
could have.
purpose of bringing him back. You didn't have to bring Sonny back to say he taking care of, but taking care of what business? They throw stuff against the wall and hoping shit stick. But they got a bunch of storylines that they want down the road and they really need to wrap up and they really need to give us some clarity. And you got 4 episodes to do it because, like Dwayne said, basically episode 10 is going to be like everybody's coming to town for this wedding. And where are we going with this? So now you giving Rashad. Rashad has to meet Patient's baby father in order to date her.
Yeah, that was a little. That again, these are stories like here's another character that you bringing in. Now you bringing her baby daddy in. Like you, it's so many people that they're coming up with in this last show, like this last season, that it's like for what? Like
That a
they didn't even go back into. They brought the girl in episode 1, and they had the Jackie Long character get mad. Yo, where you got my girl doing da da da? And now we're about to go to episode 6, and you ain't seen neither one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Supporting game, and me and Dwayne and Keisha talked about that so much about Sonny. Sonny, when you just think about the Sonny Emmett Smokey thing, Emmett with young Rel, Emmett swindled Sonny out of that restaurant, right? Q
Mhm.
never said nothing to Emmett, who he knew Emmett when he came back. Alicia never said nothing to Emmett. Sonny came back and never said nothing to Emmett. That's not real. That's not real. Because the last time we seen him, even when he was selling the chicken when the restaurant was closed, Sonny used to be mad as hell at Emmett.
Yeah,
Now all of a sudden he's happy go lucky. Y'all know old timers. Old timers don't forget that. Even if Emmett was doing well right now, Sonny would tell him, "Boy, you really messed me up with that." He wouldn't let him forget it. And then he come back talking about you should franchise. It doesn't make sense. And we discussed it in episode 3, I believe, but still, when we did the recap, but still, it doesn't make sense. And you do this to your fans, you do this to your loyal watchers, supporters, and it's just not um, right. But I don't want to belabor the show. I'm gonna I'm gonna give episode 4 a 5, and I'll give episode 5 a 7. I thought episode 5 was a little strong. Episode 1 was my favorite episode of the season so far, but episode 5 is a 7, and episode 4 is a 5. That's all I can give it. I can't give it no more. And going forward, I'm gonna be even more critical of it. I have to be. We're
yeah.
winding down.
I'm gonna give them both sevens. Because of the significance of a major character being taken out in episode 5. You got to put it up there. You know what I'm saying? Because they got rid of a main character, and I just hope it gets better. That's all. I'm still engaged by it. I would love to see less of the 3 young men myself, and let's get the focus back on the characters that we've come to know. Let's get the focus back on Jake,
And I'll say this about and
Papa,
you
Bakar,
made me think
Red.
about it. You made me think about this when you brought it up. All of these characters in these shows that are somewhat bad or somewhat wilding, they all don't have to die. I feel like in an instance that they felt like they had to kill Nook off of here. And the craziest thing is, last season, the trajectory with Nook was he was fighting an inner demon where he was feeling bad, so he opened up to Pastor Zeke. And then you just made a complete 180-degree pivot from that. He killed Pastor Zeke, from what we know, in the off season, and then you come back and kill him in episode 5. I just think that sometimes, and we always talk about this, Dwayne, get your writers on the same page. Like, get your writers and understand that it's going. And I'm gonna say it for Dwayne because I know you don't want to say it. And when you decide to do shows and you have what they call a working budget, get these actresses in a contract, because if you can't pay these actors to be in episodes and shows, that's really telling of what's going on in show making. I mean, you tell us in one instance is this show is done great. It's one of the longest running shows on Showtime. You're getting high ratings, so it's money being made. So why are they not getting no Showtime? Because of the payment? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help with the viewership. And when you think about it, it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah, but
It's
this is not a shy issue. This is a entertainment world issue. Every show is doing this. Some other shows that we really like, they focus on one character for that week's episode, so that they don't have multiple big time actors getting multiple scenes. They're trying to keep costs down. It's sad, but that's what's happening. with everything. And maybe it's
Mm,
because of the streaming and how people view it now is different than how we used to view in the past.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, I see you supporting gaming. Yeah, killing past Zeke Wesley. Mm, mm, yeah, it's lazy. But anyway, we ain't gonna belabor nobody and stay here too long. With that, any final words, Wayne?
Nah, like I think I said what my piece in regarding it, and I look forward to the last 4 episodes, 5 episodes.
Me as well. Look forward. It's gonna come quick. It's going. It's going. These next 4 episodes, 5 episodes, gonna come really, really fast. I I look forward to it. I look forward to giving some clarity on what's going on and figuring out what's what. Hopefully, some of the things I know that you did behind the scenes with IMD are true, and they do bring these actors back to have some closure on some of these storylines, because it would be a disgrace to just leave these storylines out in the mist. Um, I want to be interested in what Lena says in the next couple weeks in reference to where we're going, because I got a strange feeling that something's going on behind the scenes with what she'd probably be doing with another project or whatever. But with that, everybody take care. See you guys next week. Appreciate you guys' support. Remember, the best way to support what we do is to like, share, subscribe. Until then, take care.
It's the West. I go by the name of P. Grant. And I'll be your host for the evening. They say it's all about numbers. Some niggas chasing likes. Some niggas chasing views, streams. Well, me, I chase dollars, and that's the difference. Riding through the city like Eddie.